I'm going to show you how I adjusted the shift point on my new SRAM Automatics Hub. My comfortable cadence range is between 70 and 90, but my average commuting speed is only 12 to 13 miles per hour. This means that I'm spending a lot of my commute time in a less than ideal cadence range. Before I built the wheel around the hub, I needed to find out what speed this Automatics Hub was going to shift at. So I found a way to mount the sensor to the Automatics Hub for a functional test. This hub shifts into the second gear between 11 and 12 miles per hour on my bike. Before I'm able to hit an efficient cadence on the first gear, the second gear kicks in at about 11 miles per hour and puts my knees back in the grind zone. I was able to get the lock nuts off from the non-drive side without any issues. Once I removed the cap, the hub body slid right off. Be careful to try and keep this cluster together, because there are some small pieces that you don't want to lose. Only one of these weights had the spring underneath it, and the weight is retained by a retaining clip. Keep in mind that it's very small, fragile, and will jump right off of that pin. Once the retaining clip was off, I could pull the weight out by rotating it a bit. The spring had one finger underneath the plate, but it was pretty easy to remove. Once the spring was out, I had to figure out what way to bend it. I wanted the shift point to be at a higher speed, which means I wanted to make it more difficult for the weights to stick out. I used an Allen wrench to try and keep the spring from warping, then unwound the spring till I saw a change in the resting position of the arms. Once I was happy with the spring's shape, I placed it back on the pin with one arm under the plate. Then I put the weight back on the pin, ensuring the spring's arms were coiled on the weight to provide the tension needed to function. The retaining clip was tricky because it was so small that it was hard to position. It fit in just fine. I made sure the bearings were seated properly. I did the same for the cap before placing it on the non-drive side of the hub. I held the first nut in place while I torqued the second nut to the first. This time, the hub shifted at around 14 to 15 miles per hour. As you can see, the new shift point allows me to stay within my preferred cadence zone at my average pace of 12 to 13 miles per hour.